This is exactly what the New York Knicks needed, as it has been revealed that the team is targeting multiple players who fit a serious team need if the Knicks want to be true NBA Finals contenders going into a season where the Eastern Conference is more open than it has been in the last 25 years. And we're going to break all of this down, especially with some changes coming to the Knicks as well. We have a lot to discuss. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of that 70% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, I honestly don't even know what you're doing right now because, man, we got daily videos coming out on the New York Knicks. We got coaching updates, free agency updates, all the news on potential trades, and everything else in between, mixed with the best darn live shows on YouTube every single Friday. With me and my co-host of them, Matt Long, who you could also find on Jets Digest as well. But you guys are not here for self-promo. You guys are here to wonder, what is Leon Rose cooking right now in this free agency period? A lot of you probably recognize those two faces that I just showed on the screen right there. And you're thinking, all right, is this going to make some substantial difference? One of them, yeah, he would. The other one, is he going to make a substantial difference? But here's the real deal, guys. The New York Knicks, we all know what this team needs to do. This is a team that absolutely was 2 games away from going to the NBA Finals. Mind you, I will be honest. If the Knicks made the Finals, my expectation, I thought the Knicks were going to make the Finals. I fully thought they were going to beat Indiana. I was shocked the way that Indiana even was competitive with the Knicks, let alone beat them in that series. I thought the Knicks were going to wipe the floor with the Pacers. I thought the Thunder were going to wipe the floor with the Pacers. I know the Pacers are resilient as hell. I'm not saying they're not. But the fact is, the Knicks are closer to winning the NBA Finals than we think. But when we look at the Thunder, when we look at the Pacers, there's one thing in common. These teams have deep benches. The Knicks need to attack that bench unit. They need to go out there. They need to get better bench players. And I know there's been a lot of fans saying, well, we don't know if the bench was actually just not good enough because they didn't play. I'm going to be real with you guys. The bench was not as bad as the lack of minutes showed, but it wasn't good. When you look at the Pacers bench, when you look at the Thunder bench, when you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves bench, all those teams in the conference finals had a better bench than the New York Knicks. And because of this, there have been a lot of players highlighted who have been linked to the Knicks, and some of them could truly change the trajectory of this team, and we're going to dive into that right now. I mean, taking a look, James Edwards mentioned Ty Jerome as a potential bench piece, saying teams with more money than the Knicks will be able to land Ty Jerome. And somewhere in between the taxpayer mid-level exception and the non-taxpayer mid-level exception is where I think his salary will land. The guard put himself on the map last season with the Cleveland Cavaliers as he was one of the league's best bench players. Jerome averaged 12 points per game while shooting 43.9% from 3. He can handle the ball and be a playmaker as well. On the season, Ty Jerome put up 12.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. He got over a steal per game, shot 51.6% from the field and 44% from 3, shooting 46% on corner threes. Yes, I'm very slightly rounding up, but come on, let's be real. Round up here. Look, what we're looking at in Ty Jerome is a player who, if the Knicks are able to pull this off, if they were able to get a bargain deal on Ty Jerome, I think all of us would probably lose our minds in excitement, as we should, because Ty Jerome should have won Most Improved Player last year. I think it's so stupid to be giving the Most Improved Player award to guys who were picked super early in the draft. It's like, hey, this guy ended up panning out the way we expected him to, and that's no shade towards the John Morants and the Cade Cunninghams of the world, but Most Improved? This is expected of you, dog. You were picked in the top 3. Might have been picked first overall if you're Cade. So it's one of those things that the Most Improved Player award is skewed. It's stupid. Ty Jerome should have won it. Ty came out of nowhere. He was excellent at Virginia, don't get me wrong. But then he was in the NBA, and he was hanging on by a thread for a little bit in the NBA. There wasn't a lot of minutes going around for Ty Jerome. Then he finds his way on Cleveland, where he does get good minutes and absolutely performed like a high-level NBA bench player who could easily step into starting lineups. We've seen the Cavs be interested in moving on from Darius Garland. If they didn't get a point guard back, Jerome could have likely been the starter. However, with the way things have gone right now, Ty Jerome is a lock to be leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers this season. So we have to take that into account to everything that we're looking at. And Right now, we look at the Cleveland Cavaliers' finances right here. We're looking at their payroll. You see the Darius Garlands, the Donovan Mitchells, the DeAndre Hunters, the Jared Allens, who are all getting big money here. Max Strus is getting a solid contract for himself. Evan Mobley's massive contract is about to kick in. Isaac Okoro, who's listed here, obviously is no longer there as he got traded to the Bulls earlier today for Lonzo Ball. But Lonzo makes similar $10 million as well, so point still stands. On top of that, you've got Dean Wade, who's on a bargain contract. So you got these guys who are on these deals, and we see Sam Merrill right there. Sam Merrill just signed a contract extension with the Cavaliers, meaning he as well is going to be on a big contract going into next season. They will not be able to afford Ty Jerome, meaning Ty Jerome is leaving the Cavaliers and hitting free agency looking to sign with a new team in a year that one team has money. One team has positive salary cap, and that's the Brooklyn Nets, who are willing to eat bad salaries. Terrence Mann, for instance, for draft capital, as they should. They're a tanking team. They're trying to rebuild. Makes total sense. They're doing the right thing there. But what we're seeing right now is a situation where Ty Jerome, the very max he's going to get is someone's mid-level exception. And that's going to be a team that can't be a first apron team, or that mid-level exception goes down to $5.7 million, the amount the New York Knicks will be paying their mid-level exception for. So there's a world where Ty Jerome is basically going to get screwed here and is going to look for a one-year deal on a bargain price to once again essentially prove the fact that he deserves a bigger contract, which he absolutely does. But it's a bad luck free agency class for Ty Jerome. Yeah, he's going to get someone's mid-level exception, but right now, the Knicks find themselves in a lucky scenario here because unlike next year when 15 teams have cap space in free agency, obviously the Knicks do not, what we're going to see is players sign with those teams. But right now, there's one team, and that's the Nets, who suck, so they're not going to go for Ty Jerome, meaning the Knicks do have more of a window than it would seem for Jerome right here. Is it a good chance? I wouldn't say good. Is it a solid chance? It's better than it should be, and that's just the reality of the situation here. Now, as Brian Windhorst said, the Cavaliers are about to enter the second apron, and they're not sure if they can keep both Sam Merrill and Ty Jerome. Jerome is the odd man out as Merrill just got the extension. The Cavs decided to extend Sam Merrill on a contract, and he put up 7.2 points, shot 37% from three and 40% from the field. They need more wings. Merrill's more of a wing. I think this was an absolute misstep by them to re-sign Merrill over Jerome. But what are you going to do? We don't control that. Bad move by the Cavs. The Lonzo trade was a good move, so it kind of, in a way, cancels itself out. I guess they also don't need Jerome now, especially because they have Lonzo, so they just have enough guards. But it is something to be very, very, very aware of. All that being said, we just look at this situation where the Cavs, after all these qualifying offers go down, these qualifying offers that you see here, what we're still, again, take Sam Merrill out of there, but what we're going to see is this team be barely above the second apron, or barely below the second apron, and they're going to end up going above it when it's all said and done. So Jerome's the odd man out, and he finds himself in a tough situation where the Knicks absolutely can capitalize on that. So we're going to look and see if there's a chance I could sign Ty Jerome on a bargain deal. I would love this. I was in an NBA 2K league with Ty Jerome for like 5 minutes before I got kicked out for a lack of activity, because I was too busy making YouTube videos for you guys. So, I don't know. It is what it is. I like this, so I'm happy. I'm sorry, Emmanuel, quickly. I know you invited me to the league because I was comp, as you put it at the time. I suck at 2K now, guys. I'm terrible at it now. I lost my ability. But another player to look at is Seth Curry, because as Edwards mentioned, the options are limited, and Seth Curry is a career 43.3 3-point shooter. He led the league last year from deep, knocking down 45.6% of his threes, but you wouldn't have known it because he played for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, we look at Seth Curry and the season that he had. He was a solid player, don't get me wrong, and he's been a solid player for a while now. You look at the numbers. Throughout the playoffs, the man has been excellent, putting up 11.6 points per game with 2 rebounds and 1.5 assists. He shot 52% from the field and also 46% from three. Seth Curry has been awesome in the playoffs, and the Knicks could use this. They need a knockdown three-point shooter. Whether it's going to be bringing back Landry Shamet or not, I would rather than bring in Seth Curry because he's a better shooter than Landry Shamet. The Knicks need a guy. It's why I was really, really hoping the Knicks would attack that shooting, specifically with Kobe Bryant, in that draft class. They didn't. They need to just sign someone who is a knockdown three-point shooter. Seth Curry just played 2 straight seasons for the Charlotte Hornets, where, the Curry family is from because Dale played a while there. But when it's all said and done, why would he finish his career there? There's going to be teams that are interested in Seth Curry with the way he's shooting the ball. The Knicks should throw that minimum contract at him instantly into free agency, and just say basically, we need a knockdown shooter. That's what you do. We want to bring you on. We're not concerned about the lack of defense situation at all. We need someone who can be a laser from three. That is Seth Curry. It is totally a positive move for this team. And you just look at the deep career of Seth Curry at this point. It's insane to think about that he's been in the league for 11 years already, but the man just led the league in three-point percentage for the first time, but he's always been a great three-point shooter. As Edwards mentioned, 43.3% on his career. I would love to see Seth Curry find his way to the Knicks. This is a guy who I've wanted the Knicks to sign since they've been contenders, because at the end of the day, he's just an elite shooter, and the Knicks desperately need one. Ty Jerome's also an elite three-point shooter. I would way rather Ty Jerome on that mid-level exception, and then you go out, use minimum deals to sign some forwards or something. I know the pickings are slim, but it is what it is. It's not the greatest free agency class in the world, but at the end of the day, what we're seeing right here would be a positive move from the New York Knicks. But here's the thing, guys. I want to know what y'all think, so let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Knicks.